Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So last time, we put Montenegro on the map, literally.
Yeah.
And wow, did you respond?
Yeah, the inbox was buzzing. Lots of questions about actually going there.
Exactly. So today, we're taking that next step. Forget just locating it. We are diving deep into the practicalities, the joys, the whole experience of traveling to stunning Montenegro.
Absolutely. And, based on our experience here at 360 Monte, working with literally tens of thousands of travelers, we've seen what works, what doesn't.
You've got the inside track.
We like to think so. This isn't just theory. It's real-world advice from countless trips. Our goal today is really simple. Give you the practical tools, the know-how to make your Montenegro trip absolutely amazing.
Think of it as your insider guide. We're going beyond the usual tour stuff. We'll hit those hidden costs, the ones that can sneak up on you.
Definitely. Budgeting is key.
And itinerary mistakes. We all make them, but maybe we can help you avoid a few. Plus, day trips off the beaten path, how to actually get around.
Best and worst ways, for sure.
Those incredible Instagram views everyone wants, how to find them. Free stuff to do, making the most of a short stay, and even, what to do if things don't go quite to plan.
Preparedness, always good. Ready to jump in.
Let's do it. First up, that common idea. Montenegro is super cheap, right? No financial surprises.
Well, yes and no. It
Yeah.
is great value. Fantastic value, actually. But yeah, there are definitely a few costs that can catch you out if you're not expecting them.
Okay, give us the heads up. What kind of financial curveballs are we talking about?
Well, first off, if you're driving, which many people do, tolls and road fees. The Sozina tunnel, for example, that's a toll road.
Right.
Then you've got the national parks. Amazing places, but there's usually an entry fee. Think around maybe €5 per park.
Okay.
And Lovin National Park, if you want to go up to the mausoleum, and trust me, you probably do, there's an extra €3 for that.
Is the view worth it?
Oh, absolutely. We take people there all the time. And that view, yeah, well worth the money, definitely. It also helps maintain these incredible places,
Good point. What else? What other surprise expenses pop up?
Parking, especially in popular spots like, say, Old Town Kotor. That can add up. You might be looking at maybe €3 an hour in some places.
Ouch. Okay.
And then there's cash versus card. Bigger towns, restaurants, hotels, card is usually fine. But smaller villages, local markets, some canobas, cash is often preferred or even necessary.
So carry some euros. Any tips on ATMs?
Yeah, good question. We found that using ATMs from the OTP bank group often means fewer extra fees for withdrawals. Just a practical tip.
Handy.
And finally, don't forget the tourist tax. It's standard, €1 per person per night for your accommodation. Seems small, but over a week or two.
It adds up. So, given all these potential little costs, how do we budget smartly, keep things under control?
Okay, number one tip. Travel off-season if you can. April, May, or September, October. Prices for flights, accommodation, they tend to be lower. And fewer crowds, which is a huge bonus.
Makes sense. Shoulder seasons are often the sweet spot.
Definitely. Also, think about using public transport. The Blue Line buses get mentioned a lot. They're pretty cheap and reasonably efficient for getting between the main towns.
Okay, buses. Good option. And food. Eating out can drain a budget quickly.
Totally. So seek out the local canobas. These are like traditional restaurants, more authentic food, usually much friendlier on the wallet than their really touristy places right on the main squares. Think cozy, local spots.
Love finding those local gems. Excellent tips. Okay, let's talk accommodation. Montenegro's got mountains, coast. Where should people stay based on their travel style?
Right. It really depends what you're after. If you're an adventure junkie, hiking, rafting, being out in nature, you have to look at Дрматар National Park. It's just epic. Wake up, hit the trails.
Sounds incredible. What about beach lovers?
Well, Budva is probably the most famous. Lively beaches, lots going on. But then you have Olsztyn further south. Longer, sandy beaches, great for windsurfing, a slightly different vibe.
Okay, Budva for buzz, Olsztyn for sandy stretches. What if you're looking for romance? Or maybe just peace and quiet?
For romance. Păraști. Hands down. It's just stunningly beautiful, quiet, historic. Those little islands, the views, intimate restaurants right on the water. It's magical.
I can picture it.
And if you want nightlife, a social scene, Kotor, Budva again, lots of bars, clubs, some really good hostels. Actually, the Old Town Hostel in Kotor gets rave reviews. People say it's the best in Montenegro, a real hotspot for solo travelers too.
Good tip for solo travelers. And for pure quiet, away from the main hustle.
Maybe check out 𝒌𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒔𝒕. It's a bit underrated, I think. Really charming old town, fewer tourists generally, just a more relaxed feel.
So many choices. It really sounds like there's a place for everyone. Okay, moving on to planning the actual trip, itineraries. What are the big mistakes people make? The pitfalls to avoid?
Oh, number one, easily underestimating travel times. People look at a map, see 100 kilometers, and think, oh, an hour, hour and a half.
Right, but those mountain roads.
Exactly. Winding, scenic, yes, but slow. That 100 kilometers could easily take you 3 hours, maybe more. We see this all the time at 360 Monte when planning tours. You have to build in buffer time.
Crucial advice. What else?
Only visiting the coast. Look, the coast is gorgeous, no doubt, but Montenegro's interior, the mountains, Ďrmeta, Terra Canyon, 𝒊𝒔 𝒈𝒂𝒔𝒕 National Park. It's jaw-droppingly beautiful. Don't miss it.
Agreed, the mountains are spectacular.
Another thing is skipping the local culture. Don't just see the sights. Try some local wine. The 𝒓𝒉 region is great for that. Have a proper traditional Montenegrin dinner. Check if there are any local festivals or carnivals happening. Immerse yourself a bit.
Get a real taste of the place.
Yeah. And practically speaking, not booking popular things in advance. Especially in summer, our Montenegro tours, boat trips from KOTOR, they fill up. If you know you want to do something specific, book it.
Avoid disappointment. Makes sense. Anything else on the planning front?
Border crossings. If you're coming in from, say, Croatia, especially in peak summer, be prepared for potential delays. It's an EU border. It can take time.
Good heads up.
And finally, just trying to cram too much in. Montenegro looks small, but there's a lot to see and do, and travel takes time. Based on, all the trips we've organized, I'd say minimum 5 days, ideally 7 or more, to really get a good feel for the place without rushing like crazy.
5 to 7 days minimum. Got it. Okay, so you mentioned crowds earlier. For people who really want to avoid the busiest spots, what are some great day trips that are maybe a bit more off the beaten path?
Oh, definitely options there. For amazing views without the fortress crowds in KOTOR, hike 𝒉-𝒈 Ridge. It separates the KOTOR and 𝒉-𝒈 sides of the bay. Stunning panoramas.
Nice alternative.
Or go underground. Lipa Cave near Sozina. It's a really cool, different kind of adventure. Exploring Lake Skadar by kayak is another great one. You can paddle at your own speed, find quiet spots.
That sounds peaceful.
And if you want mountain scenery but Ďrmeta seems too busy, consider driving to the 𝒂𝒉 Mountains. Just as beautiful, arguably, but far fewer people.
𝒂𝒉 Mountains. Noted.
And don't overlook Ničaj. It's the second biggest town, often skipped by tourists, but it's got this interesting mix of old architecture, some really old 5th century ramparts even, plus lovely nature nearby, a more local feel.
Great suggestions for escaping the crowds.
No.
Now, getting to these places, let's talk transport. What are the best ways and maybe the worst ways to get around Montenegro?
Renting a car gives you the most freedom, no question. Explore where you want, when you want. The flip side, roads can be narrow, winding, especially inland. And let's be honest, some local driving habits can be assertive.
I've heard stories. It requires some confidence.
A little bit, yeah. Or just patience. Public buses, like that blue line we mentioned, are the budget option. Good for town to town, but they can be slow, lots of stops.
Okay, car for flexibility, bus for budget. What else?
Private transfers or organized tours, less stress, obviously. You sit back, enjoy the view. Someone else handles the driving and logistics. Shameless plug, but you can check the 360monte.me website for deals on those.
Fair enough. What about taxis? Ride sharing?
Taxis are readily available in towns. Crucial tip. Agree on the price before you get in. Especially in summer, prices can sometimes jump. Ride-sharing isn't as established as in some other countries. Asking your hotel or accommodation to call a reliable taxi for you is often a good move.
Agree the price first. Smart. Okay. Montenegro is incredibly photogenic. Let's talk Instagram. Where are the absolute killer views and how do we get there?
Yes, the views. The ladder of KOTOR hike is iconic. That view looking down over the bay and the old town. Unbeatable. You can pay the fee, €15 last I checked, to go up the main fortress walls.
Right.
Or tip, find the Nordic Gate entrance, exit the old town there, and follow the old path up for free. It's a proper hike, though.
Free option. Love it. What else? That famous river bend.
Pavlova Strana, the Horseshoe Bend viewpoint over Lake Skadar National Park, near Rijeka Krnjevića. You'll need a car or to be on a tour that goes there. Absolutely stunning.
That's the one I always see pictures of.
Then there's Ostrog Monastery. That white monastery practically built into the cliff face. It's incredible. Public transport doesn't really go there, so it's car, taxi, or tour again. And warning, the road up is very narrow and windy. Take it slow if you drive.
Wow. Okay, good warning. Anywhere else for epic photos?
The Ďrmeta Ring Road. It's not one single viewpoint, it's the whole drive. Around the Ďrmeta Massive, view after view after view. Again, best with a rental car or an organized tour that covers it.
Sounds like a photographer's dream. But all this beauty doesn't have to cost a fortune, right?
Yeah.
What are some great free or cheap things to do?
Absolutely not. Like I mentioned, climb 𝒂𝒓𝒄𝒂𝒔𝒕 Fortress super early, before 8 a.m. usually, and you often get in before they start charging the fee. Sunrise from up there, magical and free.
Great tip.
Swimming in the Blue Cave. Now, most boat tours go there, but you could also rent a kayak and paddle out yourself. Just be mindful of the sea conditions. It's open water.
Kayaking to the Blue Cave. Adventurous.
Just wandering the streets of the old towns, Kotor, 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, Budva, 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, soaking up the atmosphere, getting lost in the little alleyways. Costs nothing. Visiting local markets, seeing the produce, the crafts. Free cultural experience.
Love just wandering.
And eating where locals eat. Find those little spots away from the main tourist drag. We often point people towards Resto Barterasa in Kotor, for example. Great local food, very reasonable prices.
Fantastic. Local experiences often are the best and cheapest. Okay, what if you don't have much time? A weekend trip, maybe just a day or two. How do you max out a short stay?
Good question. It's tough, but doable for 24 hours, I'd say. Sunrise hike 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒂𝒔𝒕 Fortress, then a boat trip, maybe just out to Our Lady of the Rocks, or if you want to see more, maybe our full-day 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒔𝒕 Bay tour at 360 Monte crams a lot in.
Okay.
Then maybe lunch in 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, wander around there, evening back in Kotor exploring the town, or perhaps catch the sunset from 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 Fortress nearby for a different perspective.
Packed day. What about 48 hours?
With 48 hours, you could add a trip up to 𝒊𝒏𝒕𝒆𝒏𝒕 National Park, maybe see the mausoleum, explore 𝒕nj, the old royal capital, then perhaps a scenic drive-through part of 𝒊𝒔 National Park, maybe a quick boat trip on the lake.
Adding the mountains and the lake. Nice.
Right.
And 72 hours, 3 days.
3 days gives you a chance to see the north, which is amazing. Do a day trip to 𝒍𝒻 National Park again. Something like our North Montenegro tour covers the highlights efficiently. You could potentially squeeze in some rafting on the Tara River, or maybe visit Ostrog Monastery on the way back. It's ambitious, but possible.
Great sample itineraries. Very helpful. Now, you mentioned tours a few times. Day trips, boat tours. Generally speaking, are they a good idea in Montenegro? Worth the money?
Oh, absolutely. I'd strongly recommend them, especially if your time is limited or you don't want the hassle of driving and navigating yourself. They're just a fantastic way to see the diversity of Montenegro's landscapes and history efficiently.
So convenience and coverage.
Exactly. Day trips let you experience, say, the mountains and canyons of the North Montenegro tour, or the history around 𝒊𝒔 and 𝒕nj, or the nature of Skedar Lake and 𝒊𝒔 Gora, all without complex planning. And boat tours. They just give you a totally different perspective. Seeing the Bay of Kotor from the water, exploring Skedar Lake, cruising the Adriatic coast, it's often a highlight for visitors. Really worth it.
Sounds like a solid recommendation. Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Practicalities again, emergencies. Hopefully nobody needs this, but what's the essential info?
Right. Important, but hopefully unnecessary. Key numbers. Police is 122, medical assistance is 124. Keep those handy. Also, definitely have your country's embassy contact details easily accessible.
122 police, 124 medical. Got it. What if you lose your passport?
First step, report it to the local police, get a police report, then contact your embassy immediately. They'll guide you through the process of getting emergency travel documents.
Okay, police report, then embassy. And medical issues, if something more serious happens.
Montenegro generally has a good healthcare system, especially in the main towns. But comprehensive travel insurance is absolutely essential. Don't travel without it. For very serious issues, you might need to be transferred to a larger hospital, maybe in Podgorica, the capital.
Insurance is key. Good advice. And thinking about our impact.
Yeah.
Any tips for traveling more responsibly, more eco-friendly in Montenegro?
Yes, definitely something to consider. Simple things make a difference. Support local businesses, eat at local konobas, buy souvenirs from local artisans, stay in locally owned guest houses.
Keep the money local.
Exactly. Reduce plastic. Bring your own reusable water bottle. Tap water is generally safe to drink in most towns. Avoid single-use plastic bags if you can.
Yeah.
And respect nature. Stick to marked trails when hiking. Don't disturb wildlife. Pack out everything you pack in. Leave no trace.
All really important points. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's tackle some quick-fire FAQs. These are questions we hear a lot from people planning a trip.
Fire away.
Is Montenegro safe for tourists?
Yes, very safe generally. Crime rates against tourists are low. Usual precautions apply, of course.
Is it worth visiting?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Yep.
Bucket list destination potential.
Anything specific to know before hitting Kotor?
Just be aware of the crowds, especially if a couple of cruise ships are in port. It can get very busy in the Old Town during peak season midday.
Good tip. What things should people generally avoid doing in Montenegro? Any common faux pas?
Okay, let's see. Ignoring traffic rules, drive defensively, getting ripped off by taxis, agree the price first. Only seeing the coast, big mistake. Underestimating mountain weather, it can change fast. Assuming everyone speaks perfect English, learn a few basic phrases. Not using sunscreen, the sun is strong. Not carrying some cash. Being disrespectful of churches or monasteries, dress modestly. Swimming in risky spots. Ignoring national park rules. Expecting lightning fast service everywhere, relax, you're on vacation. Not checking seasonal closures. Parking illegally in old towns, and maybe taking photos of people without asking. Just general respect, really.
That's a comprehensive list. Very helpful. What about safety for LGBT families?
Generally safe, especially in tourist areas like Kotor, Budva, Tivat. Montenegro actually has legal same-sex civil partnerships now, and there's an annual Pride event. That said, some rural areas can be more conservative, so maybe a bit more discretion advised there, but overall, increasingly welcoming.
Good to know. Safe for solo female travelers.
Yes, generally considered very safe. Many solo women travel there without issues. Standard solo travel awareness applies as anywhere.
Are people friendly to tourists?
Yes, very much so. Tourism is hugely important to the economy. English is quite widely spoken in tourist areas, and people are usually welcoming and helpful.
Are shops open on Sundays?
Mostly no. Supermarkets, boutiques, general shops tend to be closed on Sundays by law, but restaurants, cafes, bars, and importantly, the local green markets, they are usually open.
Okay, plan your Sunday shopping accordingly. Best city to stay in for a first trip.
Probably Kotor or Budva. They offer a good mix of sites, activities, transport links, and accommodation options. Great bases.
And safe to travel alone.
Yes, definitely. It's actually becoming quite a hotspot for solo travelers. Join group tours, stay in social hostels like the one in Kotor if you want to meet people. Just use common sense safety practices.
Fantastic overview. So, after all that, the big question remains, is traveling to Montenegro really worth it?
A massive, resounding yes, honestly. It's such an incredible country. Whether you explore independently, figuring things out as you go, or you prefer the structure and insights of, guided tours like the ones we run at 360 Monte, it's just a phenomenal experience.
I'm convinced.
So yeah, book the ticket, start making that list, or download one of ours. We genuinely hope to see you in Montenegro sometime soon.
Awesome. Until our next deep dive, keep those travel dreams alive, everyone.
Keep exploring.
And that just about wraps up our deep dive into traveling to Montenegro today. We really hope we've shed some light on things, answered your burning questions, and given you the confidence to plan an amazing trip.
Yeah, we covered a lot. From budgeting and hidden costs to where to stay, avoiding those common itinerary mistakes, finding quiet spots, getting around.
Nabbing those perfect photos, finding freebies, making the most of short stays, the value of tours, even emergency prep and eco tips.
Hopefully it's all useful stuff.
So take a moment maybe. Think about what part of Montenegro travel excites you the most now, or maybe what surprised you from our chat today.
And hey, if you are feeling inspired and you want to check out some tour options or find more planning info, do swing by the 360 Monte website. Lots of resources there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until we explore again next time, travel safe.
See you then.